plate, working with the starting pitcher, Brandon Morio, on the bump. Morio making just his second start in a Lake Monster uniform with a 1.32 ERA. He has been electric. It's the Silver Knights and it's the Lake Monsters on a gorgeous summer evening here in Burlington. Vermont looking for their fourth straight win. Now we'll pause for the national anthem, first pitch, and more coming up next. This is Vermont Lake Monsters baseball. Of tonight's national anthem, it is the Vermont Lake Monsters hosting the Nashua Silver Knights. Vermont comes into this game 13-9 at home this year. They are under 500 when they play on the road, currently sitting 3.5 back of the lead in the Futures Collegiate Baseball League division, and it is tight at the top. They're getting Brandon Morio loosened to begin the top of the first inning, but to take you through the standings across the Futures League, Westfields are league leaders at 23-13-1. That's right, they do have one tie that came against Worcester. New Britain at 22-15 sit just 1.5 games back, same as Norwich. And then Worcester at 21-17-1 are just one game ahead of Vermont. So it's very close atop the standings of the Futures League. Brandon Morio set to work against this Nashua Silver Knights lineup. Again, a look at Morio's numbers on the season. The lefty is 0-0, doesn't have a decision. He's made 7 appearances, one of them in a starting role, 6 times out of the bullpen for Morio. 1.32 ERA. That is second on the team behind only Nick Kelly. So Morio has been lights out for Matt Fincher. 13 2/3 innings worked for Morio. He's allowed only 2 earned runs over that stretch, only 1 extra base hit. Teams are hitting only 109 against him. Morio has simply been studly. He has a 1.32 ERA again this season. The Lake Monsters are wearing their special Star Wars night uniforms. I would call them like a galaxy purple. They're not really blue, red, or black. Kind of an off-colory, purplish tint to them. Still Lake Monsters across the chest with white pants. Morio working with his battery mate from Bryant, Jake Goodrow. Starting in the top of the first inning, it will be Tommy Allers, the center fielder from Keene State. Nader Wachter, the left fielder from Manchester, New Hampshire, playing for Southern New Hampshire. And then Owen Carey from UMass Lowell in rights. It's the right-handed hitting Allers to lead off. He is making his 34th start of the summer. And that in 42 games played, he has been the leader in games for the Silver Knights on the year. Sunny, warm evening underway as Morio delivers a fastball at 83 miles an hour, strike one to Allers. Again, Brian McLaughlin here in the Futures Collegiate Baseball League Network. Welcome everybody watching with us. Great crowd on hand tonight. 0-1 to Allers is a bouncing ball towards short. That's Tommy Guggens on the forehand. His slinging throw is on time and on the money, and Allers retired for the first out in the top of the first. Now Nate Wachter. Wachter, a .215 hitter, his 18th start of the year. Does have 5 doubles. He has struck out 16 times compared to 8 walks. An on-base plus slugging percentage of 603. Wachter, the left fielder, and the visiting blue tops of the Silver Knights. Morio fires the fastball up and away for ball 1. This Lake Monster team, winners of 3 straight, the 1-0. That's low and outside on a changeup from Morio. 2 balls and no strikes. This very young winning streak, but a winning streak regardless, started with a dramatic 2-1 win over the Road Warriors earlier this week. 2-0. Swinging a foul tip into the glove of Goodrow, strike 1. Then back-to-back wins over this Nashua squad. The quick 1-game road trip down to Nashua, where the Lake Monsters came away 10-1 victors. 2-1 pitch. That's off the plate in, 3-1. And then last night, another big Lake Monster win, 10-7 was the final. They used 6 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning. Just 2 hits in that inning, 2 errors and 4 walks really helped out the Monster offense. Wachter cutting away, sprays the 3-1 offering foul up the first base side, and now the count goes full. Bases clear, 1 out in the top of the first. Morio from the stretch, the lefty, 3-2. Fouled off again at home plate. Might have caught a piece of the home plate umpire tonight. That's Steve Chris takes off his mask to get a new ball to Gaudreau, and then Morio. Chris behind the plate. Kellen Kluke down the first base line, and Eric Goldstein will roam between second and third for the umpires. Another payoff for Morio. Watchter punches that on the ground to third. Tyler Favretto vacuums it in. His throw on time to first, and they get Watchter. Got him by about a half a step. Favretto took his time over at third. Of course, not Tyler's natural position, listed as a catcher on the roster, but his versatility has been very valuable, playing both corner spots on the infield, Favretto. We'll talk about him more in the bottom of the first inning. He is the leadoff batter for the Lake Monsters. But now more on Morio as he faces Owen Carey. Carey, a .306 batter, 4 home runs, second on this team. First pitch strike. Morio gets Carey looking. It's River Hart, the man who really slugs, the designated hitter with 6 home runs, still a ways down the batting order. 0-1. That's a slider from Morio that dances away. His first look against the lefty batter, trying to go 1-2-3 in the first. Morio's ready. 1-1. Carey blasts that deep in the air to the right field line, pushing back McKiernan. He's in the corner. It's near the wall. It's foul. Deep down the diamond deck towards right. McKiernan gave it a chase. It was right near the edge of this ballpark. Not a whole lot of space in foul ground in right. McKiernan, who does have good speed, tried to make a play on it. 2 strikes to Carey. After a shake of the head, the pitch from Morio. That cut outside looked like kind of that cut fastball that Morio offers. Sliding away again from the lefty Carey. Brandon O'Brien, the shortstop, on deck. Infield playing the lefty Carey straight away. 2-2. Heads up. Change up got away from Morio. Carey able to duck out of the way. And the payoff. Hit sharply on the ground to second, but McCullough slides to his right, fields and throws, and 3 ground balls issued by Brandon Morio in the first. Nashua goes down 1-2-3. The Lake Monsters will get their first look at Jared Reminder tonight when we return. No score, headed to the home half of the first. This is Lake Monster Baseball. Come to the ballpark early, get the bucket hat today, VermontLakeMonsters.com. We're in the top of the second inning, and that's Brandon O'Brien at the plate for the visiting Nashua Silver Knights. Sorry, Brady O'Brien. Wrote that wrong down in my scorebook. Brady, not Brandon. I got Brandon on the mind, my producer sitting right next to me. 0-1 count from Brandon Morio, and that's crushed by Brady O'Brien out to right center, but moving to his right is Owen McKiernan, and now 4 in a row retired from, again, Brandon Morio on the mound. 1 away, top of the second inning. Brian McLaughlin here with you. Tonight is both Star Wars night and a post-game fireworks show. Great to have everybody out at Centennial Field, a great crowd on hand. Great to have those of you joining us on the Futures Collegiate Baseball League Network online, wherever you're tuning in from. It is a great night to be at the ballpark. Shane McNamara, the first baseman for Nashua, steps in. Still nobody on Nashua able to crack the mystery that's been Brandon Morio. He misses with the ball 1 to McNamara, who across 3 games played is 3 for 6 with a home run. He's walked twice, hasn't struck out yet, batting 5th this evening. Lays off an off-speed pitch down and away and did not go per appeal. Well, I saw McNamara this spring for Southern New Hampshire, and he is a prolific alley-to-alley power hitter. 2-0. That's hit sharply, but caught out of the air at first by Marini. McNamara turned on it, but Marini positioned well, made the catch right at his ankles, and there are 2 away in the second. So with the 2-0 lead after the Lake Monsters scored 2 unearned runs in the first inning, just making sure that those are 2 unearned, there's a chance that one of them gets turned to an earned run based on what our official scorer, Bruce Bosley, finds in his rule book. Doing some investigative work on one of the errors that were committed in the first inning that was ruled an error on the shortstop, O'Brien. And now River Hart, who is swinging a hot bat, singles up the middle for a 2-out knock, the first base runner for the Silver Knights. 2 outs, top of the second inning, and the catcher Scott Donahue now to face Morio. Donahue hitting just .143 this year. He's 6 for 42, but he hits one through the right side of the infield past the second baseman McCullough. Picked up by McKiernan in right, and back-to-back hits have the Silver Knights threatening. Trailing 2-0. They tried a furious comeback last night, and in the end, they did fall 10-7. They got to Sean Gamble again, who has run into a bit of a rough patch out of the bullpen for Vermont. Jeff Valdez will face Morio next. .274 hitter, the third baseman with the wide open stance from Siena. That was a breaking ball that I think actually fooled the catcher, Jake Gaudreau, a bit. Gaudreau was able to make the stop. 1-0 the count to Valdez. Morio, the lefty, fires. Here's a good breaking ball, but it just stayed off the plate away. Looked like it dropped down nicely, at least at the level of the strike zone, but did not catch the outer edge. It's a 2-0 count to Valdez. Hometown of Boston, playing over in Albany for Siena. Checks his swing and a fastball up. They'll appeal to first, and this time it's Kellen Kluke, the first base umpire, who confirms that Valdez did not swing. And Morio's fallen down 3-0 in this count. Morio holds the 3-0. Above the zone, ball 4. A couple of borderline misses there, but Morio walks them loaded. And now the 9-man in the order for Nashua will bat. The bottom of their order putting together this rally. Hart, the man who batted 6th, single. Then Donahue followed with the punch single through the right side. And now the Valdez walk sets it up for Tulo. Then Tulo, a 185 hitter. 3 extra base hits, all doubles. This is 19th start of the year. Big spot here as it's yanked down and in by Morio to the right-handed bat, 1-0. A chance for Nashua to strike back after they allowed 2 unearned runs in the first. Morio holding his 1-0. There's a strike after he had missed with 5 consecutive offerings. Morio retired the first 5 men he faced, but now he's allowed 3 in a row to reach. 1-1. Tulo lifts that in the air to left. Should be playable for Miller. Now he's hustling back towards the track, and he makes the catch. Man, that really carried off the bat of Tulo, but Morio escapes the bases loaded jam. No runs on 2 hits, no errors, and the bases were left loaded in the second for Nashua. Vermont will send the bottom third of their order to the plate with Gaudreau, McCullough, and Miller 2 up when we return. 2-0 Vermont. This is Lake Monster Baseball. Grounded out to the shortstop, Tommy Googans, a Tommy-on-Tommy crime back in the first inning. Brandon Morio digs back in on the rubber. The lefties worked 2 scoreless. He left the bases loaded in the second. And the first pitch off speed to Allers misses low, ball 1. Well, Allers has been the star in this lineup. Brady O'Brien and Shane McNamara, recent additions, have really helped him out. Nate Kearney, who's available off the bench tonight, also hitting over 300 throughout a very solid season. Down in the count, Morio is 1-0. And again, tries the breaking ball, but that's in the dirt. 2-0 to Allers. Well, it is Star Wars night tonight at Centennial Fields. I was dismayed when I got to the ballpark today and bringing Star Wars up. The 2-0 offering also downstairs, 3-0. There are people in this press box who've never even seen Star Wars. Haven't even tried it. I was floored. You at least got to give it a try, was my thinking. Morio misses with his 4th straight offering and a leadoff walk to start the 3rd inning. Allers is aboard. Now, I'm no Star Wars super fan. I enjoy a good lightsaber battle. I don't know. I was surprised. It's just an iconic series. I haven't even seen Star Wars. Somebody even said to me, I won't reveal their name, won't say it. They didn't even know how to spell Star Wars. That was surprising and hard to believe. 5th straight miss there from Morio, now dealing with Nader Wachter. The left fielder grounded out to third base. He's 0 for 1. Nobody out in the top of the third inning. Vermont leading Nashua. 1-0 pitch. Fouled back to the screen by Wachter. Ball and a strike. Morio gets his sign. 1-1. And that's stopped by Gaudreau behind home plate. And it's Wachter and then Owen Carey to follow, leading from first. Allers drew the 4-pitch walk. Morio, 2-1. High and away, ball 3. Well, Morio's had great command on the season. 4 walks entering across 13 2/3 innings. Not somebody who has worked deep in games, though. I wonder on this warm night, could he be laboring a touch? Checks on first here, and Allers back in standing. Allers is a threat to go. 18 stolen bases. He's only been caught twice. This Nashua team in general loved to run. Last time out, Morio did go 4 innings on the road at New Britain. Big swing and a miss by Wachter on the 3-1. Now it's full. That was almost a full 2 weeks ago, back on July 2nd. So it's been a good break for Morio. Should be fresh tonight. His payoff pitch on the way to Wachter. Nope, he'll check on first. Working with the 2-0 lead. Now Morio's payoff. There it is. Popped up, back behind home plate. Gaudreau takes a second to think about it. It's up on the rooftop, out of play. Big lead from Allers at first, and the pitch. That's lifted in the air out to center. Moving towards the right center alley is Joey Gale. And the center fielder makes the catch at his shoulder, 1 away in the top of the third. It's back on track for Morio. He gets Wachter for the second time today. Now the right fielder, Owen Carey, will tangle. Carey, who bounced out to the second baseman, McCullough. His first look at Morio. And a left-on-left matchup here. The pitch. Popped up sky high to right. McKiernan moving towards the wall, but it should be playable. And the right fielder camps underneath it to make the catch. Back-to-back fly outs issued by Morio. 2 away. And the shortstop Brady O'Brien to follow. O'Brien, also a fly-out victim. It was to right field, in which he skied out his first at-bat against Morio. Top of the third inning, Vermont chasing their 4th win. Nashua, who have dropped back-to-back games to these Lake Monsters, trying to avoid 3 in a row. Morio from the stretch. This is inside for a ball to O'Brien. O'Brien's been great. 4 for 10, limited playing time. Pretty much just got to the club. Does have 1 extra base hit. Allers takes off. Pitch misses low. Gaudreau's throw is late. Allers shows his speed. His 19th stolen base of the season. It's a 2-0 count to O'Brien and a man in scoring position for the Silver Knights. Pretty good throw by Gaudreau. Getting the start behind the plate tonight. Sean James is not on the bench tonight. He and his teammate Jackson Surroy, both headed to the University of Virginia, as I understand it, are down at UVA for orientation for a few days before their fall start of college. So Gaudreau gets back-to-back starts, working with Morio. It's a 2-1 count to O'Brien. The pitch in the dirt. Another good block by Gaudreau. Has proven over the last few years to be a reliable backstop. Maybe not quite the same bat as James or Quattrani or even Favretto, but he gets in the lineup tonight. 3-1. High and away, ball 4. Third walk of the night for Morio. That's unlike him. Brandon, whose twin brother is James, also a member of the Lake Monsters squad. His second start of the year. Went 4 innings, 54 pitches, 2 earned runs against New Britain. 2 on with 2 outs for McNamara, the dangerous left-handed first baseman. Strike 1, well-spotted changeup. Inside corner by Morio. McNamara lined out sharply to Marini, the first baseman last time through. Is now 3 for 7 on the summer with 2 runs scored. 0-1. Again on the inside corner. Good off speed from Morio. He's in the driver's seat. 0-2. Or maybe keep it on theme with Star Wars night. He's in the pilot's seat. 0-2. The stretch and the payoff. Slashed foul sharply towards third. That was Morio looking back at shortstop Tommy Googans, relaying signals to the rest of the infield. 0-2 count with 2 outs, 2 on. The pitch. Good take by McNamara. He watched a very slow breaking ball low. Only 64 miles an hour from Morio. He pitches collegiately at Trinity University. And the 1-2. Breaking ball inside. He missed. The Lake Monsters' entire defense was shifting over there. Men on first and second, both of them walks. 2-2. McNamara pulls that one. No decision, it's foul. Foul ball. Both umpires looking at each other. Man, I thought that hit right on the chalk line up first, but instead of Nashua sending their runners hustling around the bases, it's a foul ball. It is first base umpire Kellen Kluke's call. A line drive over the cushion. He was just trying to play dodgeball more than watching that one closely. Goes the home team's way in this case. 2-0 Vermont. They're trying to keep it that way. The pause, the 2-2. Low and it's full. Big spot early. McNamara with big power. 2 on and 2 outs. They left the bases loaded in the second. He pulls that on the ground to first. It's stopped by Marini, the first baseman, tosses it to Morio, and he did catch a piece of the base for out number 3. The first base coach did not like that call, thought Morio missed the bag. Nashua unhappy with the ruling. The Lake Monsters leave the field, leading 2-0. Their bats to the plate, up by a pair in the bottom of the third when we return. This Brandon Morio's work continues into the 4th inning. Sun shining down on the bleachers of Centennial Field. Morio to face the designated hitter, River Hart, to start the 4th. A 2-0 lead for Morio and the Lake Monsters. And a first pitch fastball, maybe an off speed actually, gets Morio ahead of Hart 0-1. 6 home runs for the UMass Lowell Riverhawk Hart. And that's in the dirt, 1-1 the count. Hart hitting .238. Has 20 hits on the year. 6 of them, that's over a quarter, have left the yard. 1-1 pitch, breaking ball that, man, that looked pretty good. The home plate umpire, Chris, says it missed outside. And now Morio down in the count to Hart. 6, 7, and 8 due up for Nashua here in the 4th. The 2-1. Popped up behind home plate, and that's going to get out of play. Right on top of us it landed. There was no roof here. Might have had a play at it. Instead, it's strike 2 to Hart. Morio always from the stretch, works quickly. High and away with the breaker, full count. Hart will be followed by Scott Donahue. Both of them singled in the second inning. And then Jeff Valdez, they loaded the bases with 2 outs, could not score. Back in the second, 3-2 pitch, a 1, hopper to third, gloved by Favretto. He's got plenty of time and retires the designated hitter Hart. So far, Morio has allowed 2 hits. He's walked 2. One of them was Donahue. Walked 3, actually. And Donahue, first pitch swinging in the air to right. McKiernan started in, and he makes the catch right at the brim of his hat. Pretty well struck by Donahue. But now through 3 2/3 without allowing a run is Brandon Morio. And this Lake Monster pitching staff, a 4.3 earned run average as a group. Getting another good outing out of Morio so far. Trying to extend a 3-game winning streak as they make a push towards the playoffs. There's a fastball that dives away to Valdez, the right-handed hitting third baseman. He was the one that walked with 2 outs to load the bases back in the second, but the man on deck, Ben Tulo, flew out to left. That's on the ground to the right side and past the diving McCullough. It will be played by McKiernan. A 2-out single for Valdez continues the top half of the 4th. This is Ben Tullo. Pretty good drive to left field, actually, with the bases juiced in the second. I thought it was going to be routine for Miller. Forced the left fielder of the Monsters to go back a decent ways. Morio working with the man on and 2 outs. Lake Monster bullpen, there's some rustling going around, but nobody loosening or throwing. Just some very brief stretching. 1-0 count to Tullo. Morio pauses, looks at first. The 1-0. Off the plate away, maybe a bit up. Tullo and then the top of the order with Allers. Would rather not face Allers with men on base. His 23 runs batted in leads the team. Now the 2-0. High chopping ball towards third. It's wide of the third base bag. Favretto fields it and makes the play, but it's a foul ball. And the crowd applauding the effort, but it will not be the third out of the inning. Tullo will get a second chance. Now 2-1 from Morio. That's fair inside the third base bag, and it's backhanded by Favretto. Long throw, dug it first by Marini. Nice play. Favretto and Marini work together to get Tullo, and that ends the top of the 4th. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 man stranded for Nashua. Vermont will bat leading 2-0. After this is Lake Monster Baseball.